So I think we'll start with our One Albuquerque Award for Douglas Stevens. And Douglas for us is a motor coach operator. And he, it sounds like it's from a movie, but basically saved someone's life. Yeah, and that's right. So there was an individual experiencing a distressing episode, and he performed CPR. And I think it's also, I haven't CPR trained a bunch, and I always wonder, like, could I actually do it, and would I remember? So just super impressed. And then, of course, called 911. And so I am sure they are eternally grateful for what you did. And so we appreciate your professionalism and your work as a motor coach operator, but also just look for helping people in their time of need. So come on up. Yeah. You got it. You want to share a few words?
Yeah.
All right. Well, come on up to the stand there.
Hi, everybody. My name is Doug Stevens. I've been a motor coach operator for about 7-8 months, and it's been an awesome career. The city has welcomed me with open arms. It's been wonderful. And so what happened was, I was driving down San Mateo, and a young gentleman got on the bus. Kind of starry-eyed, I couldn't, didn't really connect with him, and I just, kept doing my job. He went to go sit down, and he had about 3 or 4 bags on him, and the bags kind of started, I guess he kind of had, again, it was just a medical episode, and they started kind of choking him, and there was a young lady and her boyfriend who are also bus patrons, and they said, "Hey, we don't know about this guy if he's doing too good," and so of course I had to continue driving a 26,000-pound bus, and I just kept driving. I said, "Hey, can you hold him up?" And just kind of talking to her and trying to pull the bus over, and so he was showing signs of unconsciousness. Put the parking brake on. I said, let's take the bags off of this gentleman, and started to, thanks to my safety training, they taught me how to do CPR, chest compressions, and started to do our things like 30 chest compressions, and most people wouldn't do mouth-to-mouth recitation, but I did. I just looked at it as if it was my brother, and just wanted to help him. And, I don't really want to take credit for this. I feel like the ABQ Fire Department were the ones that saved this guy, but I did take initiative, action, and no regrets. And I see this guy still. He doesn't want to get on my bus. I don't know why, but he still always welcome to get on the bus. And so that's my story, and like I said, I'm just a regular person, and just grateful for ABQ1 and the city of Albuquerque to allow me to work for them. Thank you.
That's for you, Wilson.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You got
nice
it.
to meet
Thanks.
you. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Wow, what an amazing story. Yeah. Well, so we want to sort of transition to some community service, and our next One Albuquerque Award winner, and I can never get the name right, but Lunjalen?
Yes.
Close. So I just view you as, with Mama Kazi all the time. But come on up here. And what he's done is, some of you may be familiar with our refugee community, especially up in the International District. And of course, you and your family are legendary for helping our refugees now for decades, I think, at the end of the day. But the Refugee Resource Village of Albuquerque and New Mexico Women's Global Pathways is an organization I know that you have successfully stewarded along with your family now for quite some time, and it provides transportation for children, provides coordinating tutoring for refugees, aiding families affected by domestic violence, and also trying to find employment, especially typically in this case it's usually janitorial work, but even mentoring boys and men in the immigrant and refugee community. And so your commitment to helping us, especially those children, is truly inspiring. And I know, I mean, you can tell us how long you've been doing it, but I know it's at least 10 plus years. So, because when I first met you, you were already probably 10 into it. So, this is really a lifetime achievement award for One Albuquerque. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Truly, in fact, I've known him when he was still at the roundhouse. We even took pictures together with my wife. And my wife started this, I think, about around 2006.
Oh, wow.
And we've been working with them. The first refugees that came here, they were sent here, all right, by United Nations, but through Catholic Charities. Mm-hmm. Catholic Charities were the first organization that brought in the refugees here. And somebody told us about them. So the first family, we took them to our house. And we had dinner with them. We could not speak the same language. They speak Swahili. We don't speak Swahili. So after that, they just told everyone that was coming after them that there's this family that helped them in this and that and that. And everything else just kept on rolling, that we decided to start a organization. The first organization we started was Immigrant and Refugee Resource Village of Albuquerque. And then we decided to have a branch because the work was too much. So my wife and her colleagues started another organization that is called Women's Global Pathways, the ones that you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's New Mexico Women's Global Pathways. So we worked together. We used to cook food for them. Whenever they come, we cook food and send it to them. And then people would bring clothes and everything, and we would give the clothes to them, everything. Even this year, we had a lot of coats that we gave out. And we started helping out their children. We still do that. Now we have 2 schools that are helping us out. Albuquerque Academy, the students there, they would come on Saturdays, and I would bring the children to our center, and they would teach them. And on Wednesdays, we have another school that is, I always have problem in saying the word.
I can help you.
It's, what is it?
Cottonwood Classical Preparatory School.
Yeah. It's a long one. So they come every Wednesday. Even yesterday they were there. They come and help our children. So we evaluate them every time. I mean, maybe twice a year, to see how they're doing as far as reading and writing English. Because the first thing you have to know in this country is English. Otherwise, you're not going anywhere at school without English. And so we've been doing that, and we have gardens at the back, of which Women's Global Pathways deal with that, and we plant food. In fact, they do that themselves, so that when they finish doing that, they will take the food to their homes. And we don't sell anything as far as that is concerned. So, and we bought our facility ourselves, me and my wife. We decided to buy the facility so that we don't have to be to be kicked out again and again, because during these 2 decades we've been kicked out maybe three times or so. But except for the church, La Mesa Presbyterian Church. Oh, they were very nice. They were helping us all the time when we need help. So we did not want them to be too tired of us. So we decided to buy our own place, so our children can go out and play.
Homeless.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that one. We have a lot of homeless people around. And we have my wife, maybe she can talk about that. When they come close to our facility, would give them food and yeah. But the only problem is that's something that we fought together. You give them food, they will all come here. And my wife would say, no, that's okay, go, we'll give them food. And I said, okay. And even now, if I can look at my camera, there will be 2 or 3 people right around there. And of course, my wife decided to get help with the refugees because we're helping them, so they have to help somebody. She is teaching them how to help other people other than themselves. They made pillows and some clothing and bags, and we took them with our vans and with those children, with those adults, and took them to the people there. Maybe she will want to say something.
No, I don't want to keep this long already. So, but I thank you for the opportunity myself, and I know we've worked together for a long while, and I haven't seen you for a while now anyway. So I'm just going to quickly say that we're thankful to the community for helping us, because my husband doesn't get paid. I get paid when there's money, and that doesn't stop us from working. And so, yeah, refugee children, immigrant children, asylum seeker children are very important, because if we cannot teach them, refugees come, they always get all these donations. So we're teaching them to make sure that when other people come, help them. That's why we're training in sewing. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And my kids, we've known each other for a while, since before I had kids. So my kids, you have a special stuffy or whatever. It's still your pillow that you made for my youngest son. He sleeps with it every night. Yeah, it's very special. So we think of you a lot. Well, let's transition a little bit to our volunteers. And in this situation, we want to highlight a couple of folks. And number one is we know, I'm guessing the Zeta Phi Delta colors are blue and white. Did I get that right? Beta. Zeta Phi Beta. Colors are blue and white. I got that right. All right. So because I think you could tell which sorority that our awardee is part of. But so Alicia Harrison Bailey, and we know that, look, part of everything that many sororities do, but especially in this case, is trying to give back to the community and support each other. And so in this case, what Alicia has done, the dedication to public health, promoting vaccines, also successful drives for toothbrushes and blankets, and feminine hygiene products, which we desperately need in all sorts of ways all over the city. It's our number one thing that folks always ask for. And also working with organizations like the Safe House, who work with domestic violence survivors, which unfortunately is a huge challenge here in New Mexico. And also Birthright of Albuquerque, which helps expecting mothers. And so, Alicia, thank you so much for all the work that you've been doing. And we want to acknowledge that work, but also hear from you. And so come on up, and congratulations.
Good morning, everyone. I am Alicia Harrison Bailey, and as Mayor Keller has said, I am a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. I'll start and say that my purpose, and I've mulled over this over the last few years, is to leave a legacy of service. My husband and I just relocated to Albuquerque about 1.5 years ago, and I just knew, okay, once I get established in Albuquerque, I can join my local sorority, and that's how I can give back. So the commitment to service is one that's of my heart, and it's one that is it's just things. It's something that I do naturally and will continue to do wherever I am, and especially as I continue to grow here in Albuquerque. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you.
Okay, our final volunteer that we want to recognize comes from the world of our four-legged friends in our animal welfare department. And yes, Linda Honstein has a vast experience in dog handling and surgery recovery and adoption. And she's also fostered and adopted multiple pets herself. And folks, my puppy is now 1.5 years, but I will just tell you, like, you know, they're a lot to handle, and so it is an act of love to do it over and over and over again, and be able to say goodbye to that puppy that often you've gotten attached to, or, you know, sometimes even a senior dog. So we want to thank you also for advocating for the animals and for being really a role model for every new person that works with the Animal Welfare Department. So Linda, come on up, and congratulations. Yeah, we really appreciate it. Thanks for all your help. Yeah.
Well, Wendy. Well, thank you. Wendy is a fellow volunteer who is holding up her camera. Yeah, I've been at the shelter volunteering. I think I started maybe close to 20 years ago when I was still working. I worked with refugee students in APS. I taught at Highland High School for 20 years, and I taught English as a second language to refugee and immigrant students. And I started volunteering at the shelter while I was still teaching, so I couldn't get a lot of hours in. But I retired in 2010. And since then, this has become my second passion. Teaching was my first, this is my second. I try to get to the shelter about 5 days a week, and I do work in recovery with the animals getting surgery. And I walk the dogs, and I foster, and it's truly a passion. And my husband, Paul Pino, he's here. And when I was contemplating this volunteer work, all of our pets have come from the shelter. So all our adult lives, that's where we've gotten our pets from. And it was I always left crying because it's a hard place. And I remember telling my husband, which I hear all the time now from other people, oh, you know, I don't know if I can do this. It's so hard. You know, it's going to break my heart. And I'll never forget, and I tell this to other people who are considering what he told me. He said, well, is this about you or is this about the animals? And yeah, and it was sort of like a verbal slap of like, get over yourself. And so that's what I tell people now who tell me, oh, I'd love to volunteer, but it's so hard. And that's kind of like I use that line a lot. It is hard, and you know, Wendy and Julie, who's also here, and Sue, the deputy director, it can be heartbreaking. And there's days we go home crying, and then there are other days when we do a wonderful adoption and we know we've gotten a dog into a good home, and we cry then too, but for different reasons. So it's good work, and I encourage anyone to consider. Since I'm retired, I feel like when we have the time, whatever the passion is that calls us, you know, whether it's helping refugees or helping animals, it's time. And so that's what I'm doing with my retirement. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That's great.
Well, I want to thank everyone who came here today, and also especially of course, our sort of award winners. And what I always love too is just the amazing sort of interconnectedness that comes out in many ways whenever we do this, which is all by accident, but also because you get to meet each other, and what you all have in common is that you care a lot about this city and about our community. And so for that, I am very grateful to you for living up to that one Albuquerque spirit, that we're all in this together, and despite our challenges, we're going to do what we can to help